What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Doll Benfica Podcast. My name is Alfredo Fumaças. With me, as always, Cristiano Oliveira. What's up, Cristiano Oliveira?
Another night, another podcast. Look, I'll say this much. I'm glad to be here with you guys once again. Dave, I miss you. Alfredo, I miss you. All the Freddies, welcome back. Love you guys. Let's make this entertaining. I say we try something different on today's podcast.
We try something different on today's podcast?
I say we talk about everything but soccer. Let's see how long we keep that up. First one to mention soccer loses, but
Dave, how you been?
no? Okay.
I've been doing well. I've been watching wrestling. I've been watching Braves baseball, World Series champions. And we just lost all our viewers from the podcast now that we're not talking about soccer. I thought we were going to have to revert to our alternate universe where Benfica went on this tear in October, won all their 6 games and, sitting top of the Champions League group, top of the Portuguese table. So we might have to bring out the alternate universe back if we keep going back down this road here.
Yeah, Dave, we got a lot of North American followers that enjoy baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Any Canadian that just turned off the podcast because we talked about baseball, right? It got audacity to turn us off because they do like chasing a big stone and sweeping broom around. I mean, you guys enjoy that stuff.
Oh, curling.
Yeah. So, I mean, come on. Baseball's better.
Do you know that there's a Portuguese national team
there ain't no ice
for
in
curling
Portugal.
now?
No, there ain't.
Yeah.
Dave, tell him.
It's Alex's cousin, Alex Xero's frequent guest on the podcast. His cousin is representing him and his wife are representing.
Yeah, but in Canada. In Canada,
not in Portugal.
On
behalf of Portugal.
They don't have that in Portugal.
Bro, you go to Portugal, they don't even give you ice for your drink. I mean, let alone, come on.
No, they're representing Portugal and Canada. They're Portuguese. So they're representing. What about that dude that plays the darts that shoots darts in England?
The special one.
He's got a shirt that says special one. Joey de Souza.
Dave, I gotta give you credit, bro. You're up to
Dave's
par
informed.
I love watching the darts.
Dave doesn't waste 2 hours watching Benfica every week.
But he watches darts. You drink wine, beer, you throw darts. You watch
it's a celebration watching
ice.
Darts. Let me tell you, the atmosphere is electric.
That's right.
But that's fantastic. I mean, curling Portuguese couple. That's wow.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, who's got the broom, him or her?
I don't know. I haven't watched enough of those games to watch.
Yeah, I've seen pictures though.
So Alex's cousin is this Sid and Alex's, right? Cousin.
Their cousin.
Wow.
I mean, that's a family full of athletes. Never mind.
we get him. We have to get Alex back on the show for him to talk about this. I think this would be super interesting.
I want to get Alex on the show to talk about my New York Rangers. I know the Canadians, they follow hockey a lot.
Maybe he could give you some draft tips also. Because
hockey, I don't do hockey.
No, NFL, not draft, fantasy.
Fantasy tips. Yeah, but I mean,
did you know he's like an authority on fantasy football?
So am I. I was the man until this week, and now I lost Derrick Henry. There it is. There all the expertise goes out the window. Number 1 player overall. That's it. You suck now. But yeah, look for sure. Let's get those guys on. I would like to. Maybe we could get João and Maria with the broom to talk about.
Yeah, I think it'd be an interesting story. Yeah. How do they get into the sport? How did this all come about? And does if they win, is Marcelo gonna host them at the Palace?
Wait, Dave, is that like a sport or a hobby?
It's a freaking sport.
It's a sport.
It's a hobby.
It's not. No, it's a sport. It's a sport.
It's a sport.
I mean, it's like lawn bowling. It's like lawn bowling on ice.
Or bowling.
What athletic ability do you need?
Do you know how nice your biceps and triceps have to be for you to sweep that shit?
She's Portuguese. Maria, most likely, she's used to sweeping. So to her, it's nothing new. No, I'm not meaning it in a bad way. I'm saying Portuguese women are clean. Why are you taking it in a negative way?
Portuguese teenagers cleaning their parents' house on Saturday mornings.
Every Saturday and Sunday.
On the doubles end, they both have to. They have to take turns. One sweeps, one tosses the rock, and 10 ends. It adds up. It's harder than you think it is to play. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We got to try it out one day.
Welcome all the Freddies that have joined us.
Freddy.
Cesar, Diogo, Dr. Spartan 99, Timo.
Timo's here. Timo must be
And Carlos. Carlos is always. Carlos, we're trying to avoid by any means talking about what we need to talk about tonight.
Calls it base sport. Come on, dude. More exciting than watching this crap we've watched lately.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, let's for as tough as it is to talk about Benfica, but we have a responsibility.
You lost
to
the
our
bet,
fans.
Dave. He lost it. He lost the bet.
I did.
The last one.
I know, but I did lose the bet. But
he's got to steer the ship in the right direction, though. He's got to get us back on track here.
Here's the thing, right? We have a responsibility to our fans that tune in to us every week to get Benfica talk, right? So with that responsibility in mind, we have to.
We might soon.
Unfortunately,
we might very soon get people tuning in to check out the results of what's that sport called again?
The curling.
The curling. For curling updates from Dave.
Why did they call it curling?
I don't know. They curl.
Because you got to curl the stone.
You curl it?
Yeah, you curl it.
So the
if the people set up I'm gonna geek out here. If they set up guards and the whole point is to get closest to the pin or closest to the middle, they'll set up guards and you got to curl the rock around the guards to get it closest to the pin.
So let me get this straight. Curling is like bocce ball on ice.
Yes, exactly.
Bocce ball takes talent.
There you go. So add that on ice, and what do you think you got?
Bocce ball.
Bocce ball is cool. I grew up playing bocce ball at the park.
Yeah. Now bocce ball is very in style.
We used to play it with our feet though. Not those balls because that would hurt, but like with soccer balls. You know what I mean? Like try to imitate it.
Well, you got soccer golf or golf soccer, whatever it is. It's the same thing.
No, it's not. I'd win. I'd be the world champion in soccer golf.
Yeah.
I never tried it, but I know I'd be the world champion.
You would?
I mean, that hole's so big, dude. Even Andre Almeida would get lucky with that.
Anyway,
let's get back.
On episode number 423 is what we're up to this week on tonight's podcast. Obviously, we got three games.
That's it.
2 points out of 3 games. Guimarães for Taça da Liga, tied 3-3. Then we had Estoril at the Moreirinha, 1-1. And then we traveled to Bavaria, to Germany, to play Bayern. And that was 5-2? Yeah, so that's it. Have a good night. Take care, everyone. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Let's get back to
curling. We're gonna be the ones that have to watch the games for our Freddies here, so that they don't have to watch the games, and we'll recap the games for them because we'll save them the disappointment of watching it.
So, Dave, this special one, was he a special one before Jose Mourinho, or did he steal his name?
No, he was afterwards.
So who's the real special one?
It's still Mourinho, but Mourinho gave him a video and a shout out too for using the special one name.
Yeah. No, that guy is he's very talented. He's very, very talented. Anyway, let's get right into it. Benfica played Guimarães for the Taça da Liga. This year's Taça da Liga is comprised of only 3 teams, so all teams play 2 games. There's no home and away format, as it hasn't been. So Guimarães had already played Covilhã, and they had beaten Covilhã. It was Benfica's inaugural game against Guimarães. So we traveled up to the birth city to play Guimarães, and I'll give you the lineup real quick, and we'll get in. 8 changes. JJ operated 8 changes, and I'll give you Elton Late, Verissimo, Otamendi, Morato, Radonic, and Grimaldo on the sides, Maite, and Tarabt, Pizzi, Everton on the wings, and Ramush up front. So clearly managing the squad here. I don't know 8 changes if it's too many changes. But look, I thought we started well. 8 minutes, we had our own goal. We started well. Things are always difficult up there for us. Then at the 15-minute, 2-0. We're well on the way. And sometimes while we complain about not having the breaks or having bad luck, this game was going for us. And then I think that the team just started to throw it into cruise control. Guimarães never really looked back. They thought that they were hard done by the own goal. So they came back. They were able to get one back. And then we had that Radonic game goal for the 3-1. And then right before the half, Guimarães scored another goal, got another one back. But going into the locker room and Guimarães now saying, okay, well, we're down. We were down 2. We got one back. We're down 3. They scored another goal. We got another one back into the locker room. Second half surely could be ours. And that's what it was. Second half was completely Guimarães. Benfica was just content in giving the ball to Guimarães. And at the end of the day, it was an entertaining game for neutrals. But at the end of the day, 3-3 was the result. And obviously, everything's still open for the Taça da Liga. But certainly, when you're up 2 goals twice, right? Yeah, twice.
Yeah, we went up 2 goals. We had 2-goal lead twice. Yeah.
And to give up that lead, which the game could have ended a lot worse. Added another 5-10 minutes. I think that Guimarães could have probably pulled a major turnaround. But I don't know, man. Chris and I were talking about when we were coming into the studio here, talking about what this season is now becoming. And I know that this is a short spell and that there's still a lot to be played in the season, but certainly you start experiencing feelings that you experienced last season in the same manner, right? So a good start, then there was a game where the downward spiral started and then it all just fell apart. And we're kind of starting to see a little bit of or experience a little bit of those feelings. And it's not fun to come here and talk about it, certainly. And Chris, which tries to stay as positive as possible, it's tough, man. It's really tough.
Yeah, you're doing fine. All right, me and Dave just here watching. Go ahead, keep going, Alfredo. Fantastic job so far. I enjoy it.
Yeah, so there's not much we can say about it.
I mean, look, man, what can you say, man? Look, we finally got the changes we were all asking for so badly, right? At the end of the day, our guys have been run to the ground game after game, and so there was some welcome changes. I don't know if eight of them is a little bit much, but at the end of the day, it's still a roster that's supposed to be deeper than 12, 13 guys. So JJ has to play these guys. I talked about on the last podcast, the 3 of us did. We spent half hour on the fact that he kept playing the same guys. He's going to have to give these guys some minutes. He's have to get these guys in some type of form or in rhythm, and he's finally done so. And they didn't particularly play bad. They, as you just stated, if he jumped out to a 2-goal lead, then 2-1, and then 3-2, 3-1, and then 3-2. And look, they did enough to create chances. João Mario had another one, a fantastic play. I think one of the best plays I've ever seen him play. Tips the ball around the defender, goes one-on-one, and then Bruno Varela. Too bad he couldn't play like that when he played for us. But yeah, Bruno Varela with a fantastic save to keep the ball out of the back of the net. Benfica created opportunities. The problem that Benfica had in this game is that they just could never shut down Guimarães. And then, as you said, and so eloquently, and you were 100% correct that day when we spoke after the game, that goal to pull it back to 3-2 right before halftime, it gave them new life. It gave them belief going into the to halftime. That look, it's 1 goal. We could absolutely turn this thing around, and we're still in this game. Don't give up. And to their credit, they kept pouring it on. They had another goal called back because of an offside situation, and they just never gave up. And it seems like Benfica had a difficult time shutting down their opponents. And to me, it is absolutely inexcusable with 8 changes or with the regular 11 in there. It doesn't matter. Once you jump out to a 2-goal lead, it's inexcusable that you give up such a lead in a game like this. And, I had some people on Twitter and whatnot, friends of mine call me trying to poo-poo on the competition. Oh, it's, Taça da Liga, yada, yada, yada. Who cares? And Alfredo, I'm pretty sure you could dig up a rant of mine from years ago when we were playing Bayern Munich, and I said, I don't give a crap who we're playing. Benfica needs to take on and face every game, with the attitude that this is a must-win game today. And I thought Benfica did enough to win the game, but just later on, and it's we've seen this game after game. Towards the end of the game in the second half, Mr. JJ, a guy that I was ecstatic about coming back, but recently, my man, everything he touches, it seems like to turn into shit. And it's like we can't hold on to 2-goal leads. We can't put teams away. We can't control the game. And it's, he tries to spin it to this quality around, in the league and this and that. And I get that. I get it. But at the end of the day, it's absolutely inexcusable that Benfica blew a 2-goal lead. Luckily, they're still alive, I guess, in order to reach this this competition semifinal where they try to make, the grand all Final Four like they do here in the, college basketball, Dave. Try to make the grand stage, whatever it is. So they're luckily to stay alive, but it's just I don't understand what this team is doing. I don't understand what JJ's doing. I don't understand the motivation. I don't understand these players, and I just think that everybody is just going through a funk right now, and it's not fun to see, man. We waste so much time and energy into this, man, and it's like you see this game after game. I know they had a nice spell to start the season, but it's just like the wheels have spun off recently, and it's gotten hard to watch.
Yeah.
Let Dave talk.
I'll just I'll say a couple more things, and then I'll let Dave give out his stats, and we'll move on to the next topic. But so Benfica has 1 point. Guimarães has 4 points. But they've already played the 2 games. Benfica's next game is against Covilhã, which will happen at Estádio da Luz. Benfica will need to win 3-0 in order, because the first tiebreaker is the goal.
Is it 3-0
goal scored.
or by 2? They need to win.
They need to win by 2.
2+. So it would be 3.
Yeah, but I think that the first tiebreaker is goal scored. The second tiebreaker is the average age of the players that you've used.
So they use Quaresma.
Right there, the balance is tilting big time.
There you go. Somebody... Get Bernardo starting in the next game as well. That'll bring down our average too.
Bernardo. Oh, that Bernardo.
Paulo Bernardo.
I'm thinking this guy's still on Bernardo Silva. I was like, that Bernardo. Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah, Dave, stats on this game, bro.
The only thing that I was just going to add is, did you know that since the Taça da Liga was established in 2007, 2008, no 2 clubs have played each other more than Benfica and Guimarães? That was their 8th meeting between the 2 clubs in this competition.
Yeah, that's
now you know.
Now you know. You didn't know. Now you know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens against Covilhã.
Look, PZ got on the score sheet. Good to see PZ show up. And again, as frustrating as it was to see the 2-goal lead slip away, I can't get critical in terms of lineup changes because, as I said before, we called for that here on the podcast, and I'm saying we called as if they're listening to us. You know what I mean? Like that had a big effect in that decision. But, we've all been hollering and screaming that he needs to refresh the lineup, and he's done that. At the end of the day, if Benfica can't play and win games with the likes of the PZs, and I can Guimarães a little bit better than the regular teams and the bottom of the league, bottom of the table teams in Portugal. But these are games that Benfica should still be winning, even with their quote-unquote secondary guys. So it was good to see those guys playing because at some point, we're going to have to count on those guys throughout the season. And so it was good in those terms. So it's always, look, PZ, a guy that we get on, right? Much maligned.
Yeah.
When he plays.
The Monko Master.
Yeah, the Monko Master. When he plays, he does his thing.
Dave, Sergio's asking if that's a confessional booth behind you. Can you knock on a door, see if the priest is in?
Nobody's responding. You guys might be on the other side of the confessional booth.
But anyway, so we'll see. We got Covilhã. We still control our destiny.
Covilhã, who's mini Sporting, right?
It's mini Sporting, yeah.
They're called Sporting Covilhã.
They're an affiliate,
they wear
much like Santa Clara is, yeah.
like Santa Clara.
Santa Clara is for Benfica.
I don't think Benfica and Santa Clara is an affiliate.
Yeah, it is.
I wouldn't call them affiliate.
Come on. All those the native Azorians that are on the chat.
I wouldn't call them an affiliate. And plus,
yeah, Santa Clara is an affiliate, bro. They're like one of the oldest houses of
see,
Benfica.
But it's not affiliate. Affiliate
it's still
is
affiliated.
Listen,
look at the symbol.
I want to.
No,
they're imitating. They're imitation is the greatest sign of flattery.
I'm telling you.
But look. I don't want to be affiliated with the one that's got a draining system like that.
I knew that was coming.
Why did you have to go there?
Everybody knows the joke by now. Timo, I love you. But I don't think they're an affiliate. I don't think there's because an affiliate there's an actual link, and you can't have an affiliation with a team that's playing in the first division. So I don't think they're affiliated.
There's a history there.
Yeah, there's a history. They want to be. Look, it was like me, you, like just like Cosmo and all the boys got together at the Farmacia and they built a team. These guys in the source built a team, and like we like Benfica, we're gonna be red. They're never thinking it was gonna reach these heights, and it has. And I was like, oh shit, we're Benfica B, but we're not.
Yeah. So after the Taça da Liga, Benfica was back in action domestically for the Liga B win against Estoril. We traveled to Amoreira to play Estoril at the Coimbra da Mota. Estoril, who has been
Nelson
doing...
says they're not affiliated, but they're affiliated. See?
No, he said they're not an affiliate, but they're affiliated. There you go.
They're not an affiliate, but they're affiliated. That's my impression too.
It's illegal.
There's a connection there.
It's illegal.
It's not illegal.
It is. You can't be affiliated to another team playing in the first division. You can't do that.
How about Porto and Portimonense?
Again, it's kind of like they're saying they're not but they, you know what I mean? It's like wink, wink. But technically, they can't have any type of affiliation with one another.
But those two, they hide their affiliation. Well, I think there's always been an understanding that Santa Clara has been an affiliate.
Their colors, their emblem, so the draining system is the only thing that wasn't
But and all of this because of Sporting de Covilhã. Right, but if we look at Sporting de Covilhã's symbol, right, you're going to see a lot of similarities with Sporting's symbol.
But they might look. They probably because they're in second division. They could actually, but not in first division. You can't have. What's up, Chico Marcelino? But they can't have.
Olha aí, foda-se.
Tá bem, pá.
Mais parecido não pode ser.
Mais bonito que o outro.
Yeah. So anyway, let's turn our attention now to the Estoril game. JJ operated 7 changes from the game against Guimarães. Vlaco Dimos was back in goal. Verissimo, Otamendi and Vertonghen. Radonjic and Grimaldo. Weigl, João Mário. Rafa and Darwin and Yaremchuk up front. Cristiano, 5 right backs, and we're playing with Raj.
You know what's shocking to me is Ranjic, whatever his name is.
Radonjic.
I sound like Dave trying to pronounce Milanese.
Moreirense.
I might have a better time of pronouncing Serbian names than Portuguese names.
Yeah. What did I say? Yeah, that dude. I thought he was like a left winger. So when I see my man playing right wing back, I was shocked. I mean, because again, like I told you guys when we first signed, I didn't know him from some other Joe Blow. You know, I had no idea who he was, and I hadn't watched much video on him. So credit to him. Obviously, he's a guy that could adapt at that position. A guy, look, it's good. It's good that you have these guys that can play different positions. You know, polyvalence, and he's taking advantage of his opportunities. And it seems like no contava, and now he conta tudo para Jorge Jesus. And that's just, como é que dizia o outro? O burro passa a porta, o cavalo passa a porta de todos. O cavalo passou a porta do gajo, and he's like,
he mounted it.
He mounted it, and he hasn't gotten off.
And now that you're saying that you thought he was a right winger, and now he shows up at right back.
No, I thought he was a left winger.
He was a left winger. Before we get into the Estoril game, and we're obviously doing everything to avoid talking about these disasters, right? But you and I had a conversation. And I called you, and you had a couple things to say, and you were venting. And one of the things one of the things that you said in your
sure it was good.
unhappiness with JJ was that out of these 25 players that he has at his disposal, there's only one player that has excelled under his
I found
command.
another one. Our friend Hugo mentioned another
Kai.
one. But that one was so brutal last year that any little thing, any sign of life this year is going to be an improvement.
You got a pulse.
Gilberto Carlos. He's actually playing. Yeah, he's been better than he was last. So I guess you could say that one. But that guy was so brutal last year that anything this year make him look good.
But the other one, and you could say the other one. I don't want to steal your thunder. The other one.
No, you can steal it.
The other one that you mentioned was Weigl.
Weigl,
right?
He's playing to play. He's back to playing at the level
So,
we all expected him to play.
And when you look at JJ's past reigns, or last time he was at Benfica, and when you look at what he did with a lot of players, or how he increased their value or made them better, right? When you talk about Matic, Enzo, even Coentrão. I mean, you name it. There's a
he
bunch of
revived
guys.
Saviola's career. Pablo Aimar.
There's a bunch of guys, but you look at this team, and there's only one player, or now two, if you want to say.
Punching above his weight.
That's
right. Really punching above his weight.
Julian Weigl. I think that João Mario is status quo. João Mario is what he is. I just think that Weigl, and I agree with you.
They're doing what they're
status
supposed
quo.
to do. Even Veríssimo has his ups and downs.
They're status quo.
Grimaldo is Grimaldo. Rafa, I know he starts great, but we all know that every single year the guy comes off on fire, and then he taters off. But it's just I don't know, man. It's difficult because the one thing about JJ's teams is you win or lose, you always had his teams playing positive football. Football that you wanted to tune in. You can't say the same right now. You always had players punching above their weight, and you can't say that he's doing that right now. And the one thing that's really bothering me and pissing me off the most is there's this little groupinho of fan base that is. I can look, and I can't even criticize them, but they've already determined that no matter what, Everton is a flop.
And that's where I was going with that. And that's where I was going with that, right? Understanding that he hasn't made a lot of players better like he had in the previous reign. Now we look at at players that are they really that bad, or are they bad because they are forced to play a style that's not natural to them? And the first guy that probably pops is Everton, right? There was one game, and I forget which one, that he had Everton doing the whole left corridor.
It
was Guimarães? Right. So
second half, he's playing left back.
And you're familiar with Cebolinha or Everton, whatever, at Grêmio. My man never defended. But there's limits to this, and I get it. JJ is old school. He's an old fox. We know he believes in his system. His system has been successful to him, right? And he's abiding by it. He's not, he's going to be loyal to his system. But as we talked about here on the podcast, one of the first podcasts of this season, we talked so much about how coaches have to adapt to players. They have to put players in the best situation possible to be successful. And you yourself, I remember that day, you were kind of like, he's got to treat everyone equal. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. There's different personalities in that locker room, and that's why you get paid the big bucks. That's why you're the coach. Is because you have to understand that Alfredo is the type of guy that, needs a pat on the back. Dave's the type of guy that needs a kick in the ass. Chris is the type of guy that, or vice versa, I'm the one that need a pat on the back because I'm a little baby. You know what I mean? I need the love. So I need a pat on the back. Dave needs a kick in the butt, and you're the type of guy that just needs to be left alone. You're going to figure it out. He needs to determine who's who and what to do with each individual player. And Jetson has not been anywhere near the player that we all thought we were getting. This is a player that was starting, and I get it, but Isolado was totally different than European football. You said Jetson. You said Jetson.
I said JJ.
You said Jetson.
You know me, I cut off a lot of
words. What do you really mean?
I was talking about Everton, but I was saying JJ.
Okay.
JJ, and then I cut words in the middle. JJ has to get these guys in the best position possible to be successful. Everton is the type of guy that forget playing at Grêmio, all right? Because Brasileirão is what it is. He's a guy that was starting for the Brazilian national team. He's a guy that was leading the Brazilian national team in goals in the Copa America. So the guy, at some point, you know how to play soccer, futebol, right? Cara jogar futebol pra caralho. Now all of a sudden, the guy looks like his confidence is shot. He's thinking about everything else but on the field. He can't take players on one-on-one, and I get it. We could sit there and watch that, and we could be critical, and rightfully so. Like, bro, what the? You can't take out some Munku one-on-one. But due to the fact that he's asking to do so much unfamiliar crap to him, he's just not being himself. And that's where I think JJ needs to come in and identify that. And look, I get it. He's loyal to his system. But at the end of the day, your system is only going to take you so far when your players are not performing to the level that they're supposed to. So you have to cater to some players. You have to adapt to others. And this is the biggest problem I'm having with JJ this year, is that it seems like he is not doing everything he can to maximize everyone's potential to get the best out of everyone's game.
Yeah.
And then
I agree with you.
Negative results. And then it's like, it's just not a good combination.
Look, I agree with you. Is he being too stubborn to the point that this is my system and you got to conform to the system? Or at which point does it say, I got to get the best out of this guy? I mean, this guy costs us a shit ton of money. I got to get the best out of this guy. And clearly, having this guy track back and spend all his energy on tracking back and going up, perhaps that's not the best idea for him. I need him fresh. I need his explosiveness on the wing to be able to take guys on.
It seems like they're doing that, and I wanted you to finish that, but whatever. It seems like they're doing that. There's a concerted effort by I don't know who, but the message has gotten across. They're doing that with your boy that you like to get choked up with Darwin. No, but it seems like they're giving my man as much rope as he can. Here you go. You gotta hang yourself. Do what you got. But here's all the rope. If they're not doing that with Everton.
But here's the thing with Darwin, right? Can we agree that Darwin has 2 bricks for feet? Can we all agree on that?
Fine, but that's not what we're talking about here.
But
we're
one thing
about the fact
is
that they're giving them every opportunity to be successful.
But I understand. But one thing is understanding where this guy has been, what his path has been, his level of skill and technique has been. And from one day to the other, it's like a completely different guy. I think that Darwin, from the very start, and you were a guy that pointed that quick, this guy's got no touch. He's got no touch. How does Benfica spend the most money ever, record signing, on a guy that has no touch, that he's going to be a forward? You identified that pretty early. And that's one thing, is to know that the talent and the skill is and the technique is there. And now all of a sudden it's gone away. What happened? And the other thing is that when you're a Sipu, when you're a Munku, there's not much you could do with that. You got to play to his strengths, which is strong and fast. But when it comes to the ball at his feet, puts his head down, doesn't know what to do with the ball.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Regardless of what we think about a player independently, right? What you think, what Dave thinks, what I think, what the Freddie's think. Fact is, one guy was coming from second division. We didn't know crap about him, right? And unless you were scouting this guy and you were a family member, right? You didn't know much about this guy. Where I think every single one of us, and every Freddie in the chat, and all of us, we all knew who Everton was already.
Yeah.
We've seen Everton play at that level. So I think in terms of expectations, right? I think in terms of expectations, we're all expecting a lot more from Everton, because this is a guy that wasn't playing, with no disrespect, but to the Guinean national team, to the Paraguayan national team. This is a player that was playing on the Brazilian national team and starting and having success. So in terms of expectations, I think that's the guy we're all like, this guy's about to reventar.
Yeah.
Where the other guy, okay, again, independently what we think, but he came in like, oh man, that guy sucks. But like, oh, what'd you think you were getting from second division? Which, again, to all of us, whatever he did, good or bad, was going to be a surprise.
Right. Because
we didn't know nothing about him, but we knew about Everton. That's the big difference. And so Everton, all of a sudden, whether it's systematic, whether it's tactical and through the system, or whether it's confidence, mental, there's something that's not right. And I think Benfica needs to figure out what can we do?
Benfica or manager?
I'm saying Benfica management. We need to figure out what we can do to get this guy back on track, because this is a player that once upon a time was a heck of a player. This is a player that we spent a boatload of money. It's not like we could, $7 million player, it didn't work out. Hey, man, we bought a lottery ticket. It didn't work out. When you spend 23 mil, you have to work out.
And it's with the intent that, okay, we're going to spend 23 mil. This guy is going to get used to Europe. He's going to blow up. And then we're going to be able to sell him for 60, right? So far, Benfica has not gotten what they expected from Everton, both for the club, right, in competition, and also increasing his value so we could resell him, because that's the intent that you have. So we talk about these things about how JJ has done with this team, and like Chris was saying, the only player that he's really has playing or punching above his weight is Julian Weigl. I think that Gilberto does a lot of good things based on the effort and the attitude that he brings onto the field, and I think that he creates a lot of good things for himself. But he's still very limited, very limited. I just think that. I think that JJ has to do a lot more with this team.
Bro, Benfica used to dar uma show de bola, bro. Era prazer. It was beautiful to watch, right? It was enjoyment. You could see, even Benfica would pull off, a 1-1 draw. You like, Benfica's flying on the wings, ping, tick-tock, moving the ball, getting into space, creating opportunities. And it was just chance after chance. And it's like, Benfica used to look like, guys, for those of you, the younger crew, Benfica used to look like what Bayern just looked like against us all day. Just, even when they didn't score, but they just kept applying the pressure. That's what Benfica looked like. Compressor. That's what Benfica used to look like.
We're only, 8-10 years removed from that
There's
first
a lot
year.
of guys that are young.
Yeah, but that's what Benfica was insatiable. They would just come and come and come and keep coming, and one goal was never enough. And this is a huge contrast from what we see these days. And look, there's a lot. When you're a good coach, regardless of the talent that you have, you find a way to kind of adapt that talent to play well. You have a well-organized team. You got well-defined processes. You got well-defined dynamics, and things work. The players buy into it, and things work. Now, in terms of JJ, he can't even get this team to work, this level of talent to work. There's so much talent there that's being underutilized that he can't get it to work. And that's the thing that probably at this point, it's got a lot of people scratching their heads. What happened to that style? What happened to that JJ that it was able to turn these teams?
Let's be fair about one thing. Benfica spent a ton of money, but I wasted a half hour of everyone's time during last week's podcast talking about how we don't have any creativity. And and I'm not defending JJ here. And trust me, I've defended JJ a lot. You know that better than anyone else, Alfredo. But in his defense, he had players that can make the difference one-on-one. The Gaetans of the world, the Saviolas, the Aymars, even Cardozo, the guy getting freeze lethal in front of goal.
Okay.
But
you don't think everything can make a difference? Is it a player that can make a difference?
But I think he could, but he hasn't. And that's why I think we need to do everything we can to make sure that, and look, we got to let him go out there, push him out there and see, sink or swim. But we need to see if we got that type of player.
Here's another
He's
case.
supposed to be that type of player.
Here's another case that's little by little is getting to be a word in fans' mouths. Yaremchuk. What have we been able to take out of Yaremchuk?
Right, lately, nothing. Because
but do you believe that he's the guy that can make a difference?
100%. But Yaremchuk, I still stand by my initial word when he joined Benfica. He is a better finisher than the other four strikers we had. Gonçalo Ramos.
We can't feed him the ball.
That's the point. He's a better finisher than the other four at the time. Remember, we had 5, right? Well, if you include Vinicius, that was like 6. But no, I know. But I'm saying we had Pinho, we had Darwin, we had Seferovic, and we had Ramos, and then him. He was the 5th. That's what I'm saying. I'm not including Vinicius. And I said from the get-go, he's a better finisher than all those guys combined. But how good? I mean, what difference does it make how good of a finisher you are if you ain't getting the ball? And yes, he missed that one at the start to lose against Bayern. Right, shot it wide. He should have done better. But again, this is the type of player that needs service, and I'm not sure that this is the best system for, because I don't know, man. It just seems like there's something that's missing. I get it, and I've always liked the 3-4-3, the 3-5-2. But you need a creative presence. You need a guy that's going to run the show, and we don't have that. And everybody, you got Rafa on the wing, that's gung ho. You got Darwin on the wing, that's gung ho, and then you got Yaremchuk in the middle that's supposed to get the service. That's just
on an island,
not doing anything. And so a lot of you guys called me crazy when we were on Benfica FM, and I said, look, in a game like tomorrow, maybe drop back into the midfielder as opposed to playing with three guys up top. And I keep talking about these things and people laugh me off, but game after game, it makes a lot more sense, because what good is to have, forget Yaremchuk, name them. All right, put Cristiano Ronaldo out there, put Ibrahimovic, put Benfica, name them. Leave the guys out there by themselves on an island, not getting service, and let me know what they're going to do. Because I sure as hell know that you're not putting any of those guys out there to press. That's not why you pay $17 million to bring in a guy like that to press.
But here's the other thing, right? So clearly, you mentioned we lack somebody with creativity that could do something. But on another side, yes, let's say we don't have somebody, like you said, going back to the four back setup, right? Drop another guy into the midfield, where now we have more numbers in the midfield, guys that could touch the ball, guys that could insert a dynamic and flow of play, and that could dominate other teams' midfields. You don't necessarily need to have a creative, but you got possession of the ball and you got positive possession.
Advantage in numbers,
right? You
have an advantage, and go back to the old school tiki taka, right? And I wish we had our good friend Steve Santos. Miss you, brother. We need to come back on a pod sometime, but to talk about those tiki taka days. But these guys always found a way to have three guys around the ball, play piggy in the middle, right? And that was elite, and they always had advantage with numbers. And I don't know, man. It's just this team. There's huge gaps. It doesn't. If I didn't know any better, and you just blindfold me, bring me to a game, and forget Benfica. You just put the same system type of, and then you ask me, take a guess who's coaching. I would never guess it's JJ.
You mean with the
tactical? No, the way they play. Like watch a game with Cristiano Oliveira, Alfred, Dave on the field, but following those instructions to the T, and just watching the style of play, watching the tactical. And I would never guess, oh, that's JJ's team.
Yeah.
Or
because the expectations that you have from his first time around.
When he went to Sporting, they had the best. I get it, they didn't win the title, but historically the best year ever, right? He went to Flamengo. My man had more titles than he had losses. You know what I'm saying? The guy, and I get it. You want to call it secondary, whatever, but everywhere he's gone, he's made his teams play football. Even at Benfica, we had those disastrous year where we lost all 3-5, whatever, the Campeonato, Taça da Liga, Taça Europa Cup, yada, yada, yada. But you forget, in order to lose those, you have to get there. And he got us there. Benfica was playing ball. Like, say what you want. You would be very critical of his coaching, of his management, whatever. But at the end of the day, his teams always found success. They played good football. Benfica's not even playing good football.
No.
We played against a team that got promoted from the second division through Fence. Was it through Fence?
Vizela.
We played against these guys, and they're the ones that was touching the ball around on us. And I'm like, what the? Like,
the organization just, and here's the thing, right? We play Guimarães, outcoached by Pepa, right? We play Estoril, outcoached in Estoril, right? So what's going on? Is the team no longer with him? Are there things that are going on that's preventing this team from excelling, from playing to their potential? I don't know, man.
And I see this comment by Sergio. Yaremchuk could also use João Felix. Then again, couldn't you? Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're 100% about that, and you're not wrong.
But the problem about being in an island.
But the problem is with this 3-4-3. You can't afford to have a guy next to Yaremchuk and play off of Yaremchuk. You're just not going to have him. So even if you had a João Felix on the outside, I'm pretty sure, yes, you're right, he'd make me look good. You know what I mean? That's hard. He'd make me look good to play alongside
That's hard.
But at the end of the day, you need those types of play. He needs to have a guy close to him, and just to have these types of guys on the outside. And JJ likes to have these guys hugging the freaking. I don't know, dude. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, something is up, man. Something is up, and look, I think that Rui Costa, being the guy that he is and being a football man, I hope that he's addressing what's going on, because this needs to be addressed. Anyway, we got off on a tangent, and obviously we've already said that we're trying hard to avoid talking about these games, but Estoril game again.
We go back to that.
Another early goal by Benfica. Played played okay, but left Estoril in the game. Put the game away. And I don't know if you're already thinking about Bayern or whatever it was, but put the game away. You leave the teams around. They build up their confidence, and then on a dead ball situation, which was what Estoril had, they score. They score an equalizer, and Benfica didn't have time to respond.
The worst part
about it, they should have never let it get to that point.
They legit score a goal and leave you no time on the clock, Dave. You know what I mean? You couldn't even call a timeout. Bring your offense on the field. It was like American football terms. But yeah, I mean, like it was.
Look,
it goes back to what I was saying, man. This is not the prototypical teams that we seen. Benfica took the lead. Fantastic header by Vinicius, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was Vinicius. Early on,
Vinicius.
Not Vinicius. Vinicius. It was close. Brazilian V. It was close. Vinicius. I wish I'd take Vinicius now too. But gave us some breathing room, and it's as if we just,
we just kept them around.
I don't want to say we took our foot off the pedal, but it's like that go get it. Let's put this game away. It was never there. That attitude.
Yeah.
It was never there.
Yeah. And here's the thing, man. And this seems to be happening a lot. I'll give you. I don't want to take away. I don't know if this is one of your stats, but the first 15 games, Benfica only allowed 7 goals. The last 3 games, Benfica has allowed 7. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. But certainly, JJ has always been known for his defensive efforts and for building a very solid defense. What's happening? There's a lot of questions that we could ask. Can it all be pointed out to JJ? Maybe, but I think that the team has something to do with it. Is he playing the players to their best potential? I don't think he is, because we see a lot of guys well below the level that we know that they could have. The other thing is that he's running this team into the ground. Grimaldo looks like he needs at least 3 days of sleep to get back.
But here's the question I got for you guys, both you guys, right? Who's Grimaldo's backup? Obviously, Gil Diaz. He's not even registered for the Champions League.
No, and he's hurt too.
And obviously, you're not. You'd rather have Grimaldo in the Champions League than Gil Diaz. But with him being hurt, who's the back? Like, do you really have someone else that can play? I guess you could play Radonjic, right? He can play on the right. He can play on the left.
He can play anywhere.
He can play right, Lazaro. But these guys,
Lazaro is hurt too.
Exactly. That's another thing. These guys play a game and they get hurt. I don't understand what the hell's going on with this team, but
yeah. So maybe. One of the targets for the winter market is you go to the market and you grab a left back, and maybe I don't know, man. I
heard Marcelo. We've been calling for that for the last 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, but Dave, left backs and right backs don't make us money.
No, Dave, I hear what's his name? Marcelo's available.
Marcelo's available.
Yeah, I don't think they bring it back. That's another podcast. It's not here.
But anyway, so Benfica kept Estoril around.
That was an incorrect call. But
yeah.
No avar para isso.
But here's the thing, Carlos, and Carlos is right. He's talking. Yes, but here's the thing. In football, there's no such thing as the butterfly effect, because there was still a lot of touches that went on with that after that Benfica could have corrected. JJ said, the team is out of focus because they kept on arguing the bad call. Regardless, there was a throw in, the ball was played, there was a corner after that. And look, but here's the thing that I was going to say: if Benfica needs or is depending on referees to save their. That's the
but
wrong approach to have.
The problem was that it happened to come on that play, right? Or
well, and there's a push on Gonzalo Ramos also.
What I was going to say, it happened to come after that play, but the fact is that the goal was coming in the second half.
It was coming.
Look, it came in the 92nd. It could have been in the 82nd, in the 72nd. It was coming. And it's like Benfica doesn't put teams away. And as long as you keep giving these guys oxygen, right, keep giving them hope, they're going to keep coming. And
yep.
we just – and I don't know.
Yeah.
But how many coaches have we gone through now? I feel like every season we're having this conversation that Benfica doesn't put teams away. It goes from the last time JJ was here with Vitória and Lage in between there. It doesn't seem to matter who the manager is we have this mental incapability to put teams away and to have that strong mentality. We can blame JJ, and I'm sure JJ has all these faults that we can point at him. But how many managers do we have to go through before we start? This team is flawed. This team is built flawedly.
You're 100% correct, Dave, in your assessment, right? In your comment, you're 100% correct. But the problem is this, Dave. That was supposed to end with JJ. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, in a year and a half, we gotta build the squad back up for him after 4 or 5 years of not building up the squad and subtracting from the squad. It's not Rome isn't going to be built.
But they have
back in the day.
Look, the problem is they spent more money now than they've ever spent in history. The problem is the quality that they're spending it on. But they've spent a boatload of money on JJ.
Probably the most expensive roster in the history of the club.
In the history of the club, I mean, don't get me by value. I'm talking about money spent to attract and to acquire these guys. They spent plenty of money. I was talking about in terms of, you want to tell me that Rui Vitória couldn't figure it out? Okay, fine. He's not supposed to be this quote-unquote, phenomenal coach. Bruno Lage may very well be that guy, but the team gave up on him. He looked like he was that guy for the first 6 months. In the second half, the second 6 months, the team absolutely took a crap on him. They tuned him off. JJ was supposed to be the guy that nobody's going to take crap on him. He was going to put up with that. He was going to right the ship. He was going to take care of the locker room. He was going to get this team to play until the final whistle. We weren't going to get these mental lapses in games that we got in a game like this, as you were stating. Oh, the team was out of focus because they were complaining about free kicks and whatever. This wasn't supposed to be happening with this guy. If it's an inexperienced manager like Lage, you not expect it, but you let it slide.
You could write it off.
What a guy like this, right? These things are unacceptable.
So shouldn't that tell you that there's a bigger problem here that goes above?
Without a doubt. I think that JJ is part of the problem, and I think even Cristiano, who is a big proponent of bringing JJ back, he's at his very limit. He is at his very limit. And look, like Reigning
but Dave,
Entertainment is saying,
we say this a lot in American sports, Dave, right? It's a lot easier to get rid of one guy with a coach than to get rid of 25 guys, the roster. You get what I'm saying?
And I feel like we've been saying this every 50 podcasts now. Fill in the blank, whoever the coach is. It's we can get rid of him, and don't worry, we'll take care of the roster later. But I'm
have to be fair
of replacing a coach every year and a half or 2 years now. It's becoming a trend, and we're still seeing the same result year in and year out too.
But Dave, I have to be fair, right? I have to be fair. Where with previous managers, I honestly did not believe that Rui Vitória and Lage at the end of the day had a say in the roster. Right? Maybe one player, two players max, but not where I think JJ's got a hand in this roster. And this is a problem I have. Guys talking about who plays, who doesn't play. I've been telling Alfredo this for the last couple of days. I have a huge problem with JJ not look, and again, independently, Dave, of what you think, what I think, what Alfredo, what the Freddies think, because at the end of the day, our opinion is exactly that, an opinion. But the fact is, JJ signed off on bringing in Maite, whatever you want to call him, okay?
He was expressly asked by
JJ signed off on bringing that guy to this team. And now you don't play him? Look, what that shows you is that regardless of what you think, what I think, Dave, it shows you that the coach approved of this signing, approved of this player. He said, I could use this guy. and now you don't play. It doesn't matter what Chris Oliveira thinks about him. I mean, of course, they listen to the podcast because they want to know what I say. But that's whatever. But it doesn't matter what we think about these players. It matters what the coach and his actions showed me that, he approves of this guy. He's going to use him. And now, to be honest, don't think Meite is as bad a player as the rest of you guys here in the Benfica community say he is. I think he's a little bit better. I don't think he's a star. He's a little bit better than what you guys give him credit for. That being said, JJ is what matters. And JJ should play this guy. It is absolutely mind-boggling that him and all these other guys that were expressed or were signed off by him are not playing. And so he has a hand in that, where I don't believe Vlaj and Vitória had it. But you're right, Dave. We keep saying this is a system that's broken from top to bottom. We started signing players based on what returns we could potentially get in a few years rather than, what results can we get on the field? And hopefully, that whole mindset and that approach to business and to the football department changes now that Rui Costa, right, says it's going to change. He's in charge here. We hope that changes, right? But the fact of the matter is that Rui Costa has been there for 13 years, and this is what we've gotten.
Yeah.
It's a mindset. It's a message from the top to the bottom that needs to change. We need to go get the best player possible as opposed to maybe we could turn around and sell this guy in 3 or 4 years for double, triple.
Yeah. It can't be all about business. There's a business part. I just wanted to mention something here. Reigning Entertainment that's mentioned in a chat said the intensity is low, but we have a low financial status compared to the other teams. Also, we're only 1 point behind in the league. Sporting and Porto are bound to go through their bad spells. Yeah, but that may very well be. The point is that Benfica's roster compared to Porto and Sporting's is way better.
Porto don't go through those bad spells of intensity. Because their coach is a pit bull. They might not play crap, but they're going to give you 110% to the very last whistle. Right, Dave? That's your boy. You got a poster of his, right?
Yeah. He was also saying that the year JJ won the league, we were 7-2-1 by this time, and this year we're 8-1-1. Yeah, but you also had a brand new team. Yeah, he's already got 2 years with a lot of these players.
First of all Reigning Entertainment. I know that's not your name, bro. You're gonna come over. You gotta identify yourself.
It's okay.
I think we the keeper. He's gotta identify himself. I gotta know who I'm talking to. How do I know that's not Sergio Conceição? I know that's not what's his name, Francisco Miguel Marcos. Marcos. How do I know that's not him disguised?
Look. There's gotta be things that need to be done, and my expectation in Rui Costa being a football man is that a change needs to be made sooner than later. He needs to make a decision, and him understanding, because Luis Felipe Vieira, he admitted he knew nothing about football. He knows about business. Rui Costa is a football man. He knows the signs. He could tell the writing on the wall. He could see when the coaches lost the locker room. He could see what's going on. He could see any rifts in the locker room. He could see things because he's been in locker rooms and he has that experience. So I'm expecting Rui Costa to take some action, whether it's with the team or whether it's with JJ. Something needs to change. We can't continue to go on like this. And I know that it's a short spell, and maybe we have too high of expectations as Benfiquistas. But that's the way I've always lived, having these expectations of Benfica to go into a game and compete, right? And we could use this, in this segue to go right into the Bayern game. Dave, I guess give us the stats so we could go on to the Bayern game, because this is dragging on and I'm getting a little bit.
I was going to say, what game are we even talking about anymore? Because you can literally just copy and paste it into one of the last 3.
Yeah, let's wrap up. Let's wrap up the Studio game.
Forget Studio. Let's go to Bayern. We had a historic day yesterday.
But we'll recap it here quickly. First time in 28 years that Estoril has taken points away from Benfica in Estoril. Through 10 rounds this year, Benfica's got 25 points, 8 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat. Only 1 point more than last season at this point. We had 8 wins and 2 defeats. last season, and October was a month to forget. 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 defeats in the 6 matches.
Yeah. So moving on to so it's Chris from Toronto.
Nah,
Reigning
He
Entertainment.
just wants to use my name. He wants to be named after me.
No, your name doesn't have an H.
That's right. That's good. You're friends. See, that's why we're friends. You spotted that.
Anyway, the Bayern game, right? Let's get right into the Bayern game here. My notes.
History, baby.
5 games, 5 losses in Germany. We have not had a favorable anything but a favorable
Dude, I honestly
track record.
I think in the history of Benfica, Bayern might be our worst ever opponent. They're our daddies.
Yeah, they're our kryptonite to our Superman.
They're our pappies.
They're our kryptonite to our Superman.
I don't think we've ever beaten them in the history of the clubs. Maybe in hockey.
We haven't.
I don't think we've ever beaten them, right?
Oh,
we've never beaten them.
I don't know if you want to go
maybe in
like
curling.
Curling and maybe the camp team beat them to the started a fire, but definitely not on the pitch.
The camping team.
Yeah, maybe the guys.
Did you ever see a German put up a tent, Dave? That shit's impressive, bro.
They also have the cold climate they have to deal with,
and those suspenders and those outfits.
They got a bunch of Paul Bunyan's out there chopping down trees with an axe.
All right, let's. I'll give you the lineup and then we'll go about this game. Vlaco Dimos, Veríssimo, Vertonghen, and Morato, Gilberto, and Grimaldo, Maite and João Mário, Pizzi, Everton, Yaremchuk. So quite a little bit of changes here. And JJ's justification was that the 3 players that he kept out, specifically Otamendi, Rafa, and Weigl, were on yellows, and if they got another yellow, they would sit out against Barcelona. And the argument was that our competition in this group stages are against Barcelona and are against Kiev. So we need to have those guys available. But then when you look at this, and that's all fine and dandy, logical sense, makes a lot of sense that's the way you talk. But Benfica, you know how many fouls Benfica had in the whole game against Bayern?
Bro,
take a guess.
I was watching like this. You know what I mean? Like through the I was watching like this. So
take a guess, Chris. Take a guess.
Take a guess. I'm gonna go with my favorite number, 10.
Less than that.
Less than that. So Paulo Sousa.
Less than that.
Wait, less than Paulo Sousa.
Yeah. Benfica had 5 fouls the whole game.
That's good.
And
clean.
But here's the thing,
it's
right?
Like Portugal, where you blow and it got any falls.
When you worried about players fouling and picking up yellow cards, but yet the message is don't foul or don't be intensive to the point that don't foul guys, right? Because if the message to the team is you got to be intensive, pressure up, don't let these guys touch the ball, be right on top of it. There's going to be fouls that come out of that contact, that come out of that approach to play. But when you see a Benfica team that is made 5 fouls the whole game, how do you leave guys out to save them against yellow cards? You can ask that question. But certainly.
What? How do
you leaves Otamendi out, Weigl out, Rafa out.
Yes.
Because his fear was that those guys were going to pick up a yellow card and not play against Barcelona.
That. I was actually
fine.
I didn't like it because I believe Benfica should always feel the strongest. But look, as I said before, we can't come on here, the Freddies and ourselves, and ask for change. It just, I don't know if I would have done that change, against the Estoril. I would have done that change against Vuvuzela. I don't know about Champions League, especially when you run the risk of getting a cabazada. But look, he made the changes that he thought that he needed to make. And I was like, oh man. But deep down inside, we lost with our strongest line of 4-0 at home, right? There's a legit chance that we could combine Porto, Benfica, and Sporting and still lose to Bayern at home. So I guess he took the safe side. Like, we're going to rest these players and make sure that they're healthy and ready to go and, clean, whatever, not in danger of missing a game due to yellow card accumulations against the Barcelona, because that's the critical game. But then he loses me again. Right when I jump on track, and I'm like, all right, okay. I'm not crazy about it, but okay. And then he freaking brings out Rafa. So I'm like, wait a minute. You saving the guy but now you're bringing him on. Like, come on, dude. I don't understand.
Yeah, and look, it's like, for a team that only commits 5 fouls against Bayern, a team that touches the ball around, there should be more intensity. There should be more on top of guys, letting them know that I'm here, letting them feel your presence. Don't let those guys play. Don't let those guys play.
I had to double check to see if Gilberto got all 5 of those fouls against Bayern, but he only got one of the.
He got 5 of them. He should have got called for 5 of them on one play when he was hacking Alfonso. He kept the referee. If that was Portugal, that would have been like double, triple yell on that one play. But he was my man. Say what you want about Gilberto. Guy comes to play.
He comes to play
every week.
I wish if somebody said this on Twitter.
Amazing. He comes to
we
play.
Had 11
albums on the. He records albums on the side. My man,
he's dropping tracks.
He's dropping tracks. You don't mess around, bro.
I like this comment by Kevin. It said, anyone else yell "I credo" watching Coman get past Grimaldo.
I think it's just I credo, but I don't know. I credo.
I credo, creed. It can work both ways. I creed.
I creed.
I cred.
I
think it's cred. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But I mean, that. But here's the thing, man. Like I said, Grimaldo needs to spend at least 4 days in a hyperbaric chamber to get his stamina and feel fresh again, man. Because that guy just looks spent.
But man, does he take a great free kick? He's our free kick specialist.
Yo, look, to his credit, he had a phenomenal cross in that game that we scored, right? Morato scored. That was a cross from him.
Yes, sir.
I mean, he gets about 2 or 3 of those every 4 or 5 months off. Yeah. So I think his quota is coming up.
So anyway, what can we say about this this Bayern?
There's history.
And I'm not going down that path. If you want to go down that path, you could go down that path.
I'm gonna let Dave give you a. This is what my hometown.
Is it another trophy for the Seychelles?
My hometown. Right. This is just so you guys know. Don't laugh at my hometown. But go ahead, Dave. Tell history. Benfica matched my hometown in history. Go ahead.
Where is I even lost this stat. Oh, here's the positive stat. Sorry, I had to look. Had to look through all this positive stat here. Benfica is the first Portuguese team to score 2 or more goals against Bayern Munich in Munich since Stubble in 1967.
67.
Vitória and Stubble used to be a powerhouse.
I don't even know what Stubble was playing Bayern for in 67.
Hey.
Was it a friendly?
No.
It was not a friendly?
It wouldn't count.
Was it friendly?
Was
not a friendly?
No, because
let me see if 0-0.
Some kind of Taça de Cerveja of that time?
Nah, bro. Come on. Vitória
Oktoberfest.
Yeah, Vitória Stubble was a guest for Oktoberfest exhibition match.
Munich brought the beer, Stubble brought the carapau.
Beer and carapau, or beer and shocks. That works. I could go for that right now.
Yeah.
Diogo Reis says 67, the last time the Leafs won the cup. Nice one. Look, I can't subscribe to Benfica was the only team to score on 2 goals on Bayern
only Portuguese club,
or the Benfica.
In Munich, Alfredo. Why is that hard to believe?
Scored the first goals in Bayern Munich's Champions League campaign this year.
Against them.
Yeah,
that's...
look,
bro.
If you want to take the silver lining...
That's the only thing, bro. What are you going to grab onto?
If you want to take the silver lining...
Look at it this way. The starters lost 4-0. The backups scored 2 goals. Hey, that's a positive.
There's some potential.
The tournament in 67 was the Taças de Taças. So
Taça de Taças, nice. Yeah. So that's when the cup winners meet each other.
Yeah. So they must have won the Taça Portugal.
That is dissipated. That competition is dissipated.
Yeah.
There's no longer Taças where the winners of each domestic cups would play each other in a.
That was a cool competition.
Yeah, no, it was a round robin. Yeah, it was round robin. It was round robin. And if the team
Sporting didn't even
if the team that won
secondary
the Taça and the championship, the loser of the Taça game would be the one that would get that spot. It was fun, man. Yeah. Those were fun times, man. In where the Champions League was Taça dos Campeões, Taça dos Campeões Europeus, where only the winners of each one of the leagues would play a round robin also. That was before the Champions League new format was introduced.
Yeah, but then they set up the new Superior League, and we're not allowed to talk about that. Was it Super League? Was it called, Dave? Super League.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
forgot about that.
so
name,
Benfica, look, obviously when you go out there and you're playing the likes of Bayern Munich, it could be, historic on your end if you come up with a positive result, or it could be historic on the other side where you walk away with a
Yeah.
shellacking. But look, it wasn't neither one. Benfica,
I think
they did what we expected. Bayern did what they expected. They're one of the best teams in the world, if not the best team in the world. And a little disappointed that Benfica didn't go in there with their strongest 11. But I kind of understand it from JJ's standpoint, but he lost me with the whole substitutions. And now we're on to the next game. Look, we got a very important game coming up against Sporting Braga. And Benfica lately has been atrocious against Sporting Braga, and then followed up by that game against Barcelona.
Yeah.
The winner of that game will most likely be the team coming out alongside Bayern Munich, coming out of the group and going on to the quarters or whatever it's called, the knockout stage. I should say that.
I always want Benfica to compete in every game that we go into, and I don't think there was anybody in this world that thought that Benfica was going to be able to pull a win in Munich, right? But certainly you expect the team to compete, and I do understand the logic behind leaving those guys out, but I thought that Benfica could have done a little bit better against Bayern. I think that 5-2 is a heavy result, but
I think it was unfortunate. They scored a goal that was onside that VAR called back, and obviously that changes the game a little bit. But look, it wasn't. You're saying you thought Benfica could have done a little bit better. I looked at it as it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
5 fouls, man.
But there was joga limpinho.
Dave, go see how many fouls Porto committed against Milan today.
Porto commits a foul coming out of their cars, walking in the
Penalty for Porto.
Yeah, come on, dude, stop. Come on.
Yeah, man. Look, I don't, like I said, I don't think anybody.
This guy my boy Diogo, he said Benfica Podcast. Oh yeah, needs to go on the road and do a show in
the city with most followers in Toronto.
Wait, hold on. Isn't Toronto a city? This guy is losing me. So a city.
Benfica Podcast needs to go on the road and do a show in the city with most followers. And he's already
Toronto.
He's already self-proclaiming that Toronto is the city with the most followers for Benfica Podcast.
When you look at the landscape, right? Toronto FC.
We've been up there.
We've been up there.
Diogo, we've been up there when Benfica first came around.
PSG, Benfica.
International.
2015.
International Champions Cup. We were out there.
House.
That's right.
At his house. Very nice of him. We went to eat
That's
what
I was gonna say. Some stale ass pastéis nata at some bakery in the main strip.
They were terrific. Send us more. Benfica Podcast at gmail.com.
Steve's excuse was that it was late at night. They're probably not fresh.
Yeah, but then I went there in the morning and it was like it was late at night. They left them from late at night.
I've got the stat on the guys from up north. If you want, what do you think? What do you think? We'll play an over/under game. What do you
I'm
guys
gonna
think?
say 15
against who? Liverpool,
Milan,
Porto, Milan. How many fouls?
Porto, Milan. That's my second squadra. That's my squadra, Milan. 17.
It was 20.
I win.
That's a bit.
I win. Even when I lose, I win.
And look, I don't have to go any further, to basically paint the picture for you. But we've said it here. We already know what the approach is from one team to the other as they go into Europe. But anyway.
Look, I just wanted to say, if we ever go back to Toronto, the guys that could organize is Serginho.
Já foste has come down our way.
Yes, he has. He was here when Benfica celebrated the title.
That's right.
I was on crutches.
He was celebrating on Ferry Street.
Yes, he was.
Good times.
Pyro.
He's back on Twitter too.
He's back.
He's back on Twitter, but not with his regular name.
But you know what he hasn't done though, right? He hasn't sent us T-shirts.
No, don't leave the guy alone, man. Leave the guy alone.
That's why Benfica's playing so bad, right?
That's what it is. We need to trade. We need to change the juju.
Yeah.
the mojo, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So turning our attention here to Benfica's next domestic game, which will be against Braga this Sunday, 9:15 local at Stadio Luz. Braga's yet to lose away from the Pedreira. 7 goals scored, 3 allowed when outside of Braga. Dave, what's Braga up to these days?
These days they're in fourth position, tied with Estoril with
Right behind us.
points with 5 wins, 4 draws, 1 defeat. Their last 5 games this season coming in proper form: 4 wins, 1 draw. And the last 5 games against us in proper form as well: 4 wins and 1 loss against Benfica Braga is coming into this match. So they've got our number recently, but historically we've got their number: 98 wins, 30 draws, and 22 defeats.
Yep.
We're 1-4 in the last 5, correct?
Yeah.
That's not good.
No bueno.
No bueno. It's not looking good. Dave.
Yeah, look, it's
You got
another.
the Horta brothers
Braga
coming
seems
back.
to be JJ's kryptonite in the league, because when we had Lage and Vitoria, we were like on a 15-20 game winning streak against Braga, and
Carvalhal, right? Carvalhal, that's his name. Coach.
yeah.
He's gonna, he's
No,
gotta
look,
try to prove a point.
it's going to be another tough game for Benfica, and I think that Porto is right around the corner too. But yeah, against look, I hope that we're past this Bayern game, whatever that was. I think
We're gonna face him now. Next time we face him is in a final, Champions League final, after we advance to this group.
Yeah, no. Look, it's another tough game against Braga, and right now you really need to concentrate on getting points, because I mean you've already lost first place, and granted that distance is not very big. I think it's only 1 point to Porto, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, I much rather be in first place than to be looking up. Certainly,
sometimes you could be looking up. It's not bad. Not
depends on what you're looking at.
Exactly, not in this instance.
Yeah, no, but Braga is going to be another tough game. It's at Stadio Luz, so thank God for that, and hopefully that the fans will be there to support it. But it could also turn ugly. It could also turn very ugly.
Positive, bro. Positive.
No, I understand, but I think if things go sideways,
but they're not
at Stadio Luz, and understanding the run that we have been in, I think it's very possible that the team or JJ will be booed.
No, I look, but I'm not even looking at that. I think Benfica is going to show up. I think Benfica is going to come out to play. I know I've sat here for the last 2 hours or whatever it is, bashing them and really disappointed, but it's more out of disappointment than anything else. I still think that, obviously this team can turn things around. We talked about so much how Benfica has invested loads of money into this roster. Benfica has the deepest roster in the league. They have everything to have a successful run in the Portuguese league. Obviously, if you're gonna, expect to get results in Champions League with this roster, you're gonna fall short. But in the Portuguese league, they have everything it takes to be successful. It's a very long season. Benfica's hit this rough patch. As Dave stated before, we seem to always hit this rough patch here in October, whatever, with the exception last year. Actually, I think, right, Dave, you had the numbers. We won 5 out of 5 last year. But for the most part, Benfica always has these hiccups. And look, our opposition is going to have hiccups as well. It's going to be a very long season, but it's going to be much tougher than we anticipated. Benfica makes things tough on themselves. And we come on here and, we don't have the energy, that you guys are expecting. We apologize to you, Freddies, and everyone else, around, Canada, whatever the hell would it be? Canada, bro. Whatever. Everyone else around. Listen, I just lost my train of thought. But we obviously want Benfica to win, man. We're disappointed.
Absolutely, man.
This team turns things around, and I don't go into this game on Saturday with this weekend with that Sunday, right? Sunday, with that attitude or that thought process, Alfredo, that you're having, that things could get really rough and booming. I'm trying to be positive. I think Benfica, there's still a heartbeat in that locker room, and I think Benfica will show up for a game like this.
Yeah,
they seem to show up for big games. It's smaller games that this team seems to be. Not performing.
Let's get into some questions. And first question is from Carlos. Does JJ finish the season? I don't know. I have a feeling that he might not make it past Christmas. No, I'm just kidding. I think that it'll be too expensive to fire JJ at this point. But again, goes back to what I was saying about Rui Costa. Rui Costa knows football. He's going to know whether or not he needs to release JJ or he needs to make an adjustment in the locker room or he needs to talk to somebody in the locker room. Cristiano.
Does he finish the season? Well, if things go as you said, as you anticipate, it might go this weekend. Yeah, I think things will get ugly, and I think, look, JJ has this love for Rio Janeiro. Rio Janeiro has this love for him.
They're calling him. They're calling his
him,
name.
singing his songs.
Singing his songs.
They got Gustavo Lima over there serenading them and stuff, sending them DVDs. So if things get ugly, you're talking about it's too expensive. I think he's call the guy many things, but he's aware of the situation. He understands the situation, and having a team of that magnitude where he's at success and the love for the guy, where he's an absolute hero, and they're gonna give him a blank check as well. He's gonna have that out, and I think he'll walk away himself. So if things do get ugly, there's that potential. But to answer that, I'm not answering the question. But to answer your question directly, yeah, I believe he finishes the season.
Dave, what do you think?
He's already dead man walking. He's at the end of his contract. It's up at the end of the season. So he's dead man walking. Whether or not he's fired or not re-signed at the end of the season, we just let him go. I hope we're not sitting here on Benfica Podcast episode 7 or 473 and talking about whoever the new coach is. Do we need to get rid of this coach here? Because it seems like every 50 episodes we're talking, insert new coach's name here. Do we need to get rid of this coach? It just seems rinse, repeat, and same topic. But whether it's before or after May, he's dead man walking right now.
Yeah. Reigning Entertainment says, if you sack JJ, who would you want as a new manager? It's tough. I would like to think because of JJ, because Rui Costa is again, I'm repeating myself, but is a guy that has a lot of contacts and knows his stuff. I think that the appointment will be good, whatever it is. But I think you got Fonseca out there that's jobless.
He's not coming. He's got a way bigger team.
What about Jardim?
No,
Leonardo Jardim.
The guy I'd want, I'd go get this guy.
Who would you go get?
Zinedine Zidane, because he can still play in this midfield and coach it.
And you could play Padel in his spare time.
2 for 1.
Here's another one. What do you think, Dave? Any names?
I would be open to going outside of the Portuguese market and opening it up to somebody that's not necessarily Portuguese. The last couple of guys have been Portuguese. Want to get some new flavor in there.
You don't say Ronald Koeman. He's available. Don't say him.
For this.
Yeah.
He said that perfectly.
If here's one from David Pereira. If performance is not better by January, do they give him more money to hit the market? I think there's a couple. You need to get a left back, man. You need to get a left back.
From my hometown. Did you know that?
Apparently, he's not that great.
He's even worse when he's hurt.
Here's another one from Nelson Carvalho. Who in Liga B win that isn't on the big three or Braga do you think is good enough to play on Benfica? Wow, there's some guys some guys out there.
The big three. My boy, Edwards from Guimarães.
Yeah,
there's plenty of guys, man. There's too many.
The guys. Franco from Estoril is pretty good too. I like.
What's my boy that Benfica should have gotten? From Al Musrati.
Al Musrati. I would take Al Musrati too.
There's plenty of guys.
But that Braga wanted a lot of money for him.
He did.
And we'd rather go spend money on Maite.
I think Al Musrati. No, it's not. We rather.
We went.
We went, but it was totally different. They were asking for double, almost triple what we paid for Maite. So obviously it came down to that.
No.
I think
doesn't that have the writing of Porto coming in the summertime and just paying $3 million for him?
No, January. Keep an eye out for that day.
Yeah. Here's one from Reigning Entertainment. I never seen him before. He's got all these questions. Very active on his chat. Thanks, man. Hey, Chris from Toronto. Thank you, man. If Benfica qualify for the round of 16 and make it far, does JJ deserve any credit? And what happens if he fails in the league?
Oh,
it's tough, man. That's tough, man. Because
if they qualify for the round 16 and they fall flat in the league, he gets criticized and he's not brought back. And look, I'm a JJ guy. Anyone listening knows I'm a JJ guy. Okay? I was ecstatic when we brought him back. If that is indeed the case, it is an absolute failure. His stay at Benfica, his second stint at Benfica, will be known as an absolute failure, embarrassment of 2 years if he doesn't win this league this year.
Yeah, especially after all the excuses last year.
Forget the excuses. It's the boatload of money.
Diego Reyes asks, "What do we do with Pizzi?" We just let him
Throw some
run out as the rest of his contract. That's what's gonna happen. Look, if there's something that you can't take away from Pizzi is that he's one of our best finishers on the roster.
He's one of the most clinical guys. Forget finishes.
Most
technical.
If Darwin had he would be world class.
Look, the fact is this: Peasy. Can't believe I'm defending.
You're defending Pizzi?
Do you want to say what you're gonna say?
Dave,
must be a full moon.
Dave, go in that over there confession box.
Go in the confession box.
Forgive me. I can't believe I'm actually defending this guy. But Peasy is a guy that we've all, at one point or another called for this guy to be pushed to the side. But the fact is, the way that we've been playing this year, there is absolutely no reason why Peasy can't get more burn. Why Peasy don't get the minutes in the middle against a Vuvuzela again? You know what I mean? Like, why always run out the same two guys and burning?
He's the Monku master.
Exactly. And on top of it, João Mario was a guy that all of last year played 2,300 minutes. This year's at around 1,400 or 1,500 already.
You know what JJ said that Rafa and Pizzi can't play at the same time?
No, because they're terrible defensively. Yeah, but look, we'd also be a lot better offensively. So
for sure.
All I know is that you could actually use the squad rotation. Peasy will be okay, man. Peasy puts the ball in the back of the net. Now, if you're counting on this guy to carry you and be the big difference maker, yeah, then you run into a problem. But in these other games, why burn, João Mario and Weigl? Why burn those guys? Why not play Mike Day and Peasy? Why not?
Yeah,
what are you gonna tie?
Pizzi's been he's been horrible. He does like one or two good things, and then after that, he's just like the passes. I don't know. It's just his whole body language on the field, man.
What player is actually not? Which one's been consistent, with the exception of Weigl?
I think João Mario's been up there, but I think it's João Mario's being run into the ground.
João Mario's been consistent. He's been consistent to what he does,
but he's not spectacular. Yeah, you're right. He's not, but he does like a little things here and there, man.
João Mario's not a guy that's gonna make a difference going forward. Benfica lacks a lot of creativity, and Pizzi could actually add that. João Mario's Mr. Consistent. Get the ball, touch it around, keep possession. He's not gonna break any lines. He's gonna set off guys on one-on-ones, and that's Pizzi makes that difference.
Reigning Entertainment, since nobody can replace João Mario and Grimaldo, basically, who would you guys like as backups for them? I think that would solidify I think that
Alfonso Davies, Kevin De Bruyne.
No, Paul Bernard, man. I think even Jetson, Jetson should be getting some minutes for João Mario, man. And Grimaldo, I think we need to go to the market to get a serious left back, man. No more of this just getting by.
Hey, maybe Everton works out a left back.
A Radonjic. Yeah, man. I think that Paul Bernard is due. He made his debut in Champions League for Benfica.
And that was enough. He's proven it that he can play at this level. 4 minutes.
He's only 19.
So,
but I liked him in the preseason. I thought he did pretty well in the preseason, even when he was playing at right back. But I think the kid is already at a level beyond the B team. So whether he remains on the roster or whether he goes on loan at the halfway mark, I think that Benfica needs to start looking at this kid as an investment for the future. So, what else? That's it.
Pass Carlos' eye test. That's it. It's a wrap. Carlos, vamos ter isto aqui no notepad. Daqui a 3 anos, I'm going to go back and recheck it.
Nelson Carvalho. Yeah, we had Nuno Tavares and sold him. He's the next big thing now. He's at Arsenal. Dude, we're talking about Arsenal here, man. We're not talking about Man City or Chelsea. We're talking about Arsenal.
Hey. That's my squad, bro.
I don't know. It's your squad, man. You need to change that shit.
My English squad, bro. They're like mini Benfica. They got an affiliation like Santa Clara.
They got an affiliation.
They got a stadium. They got green grass. They're like
Benfica has an affiliate with Arsenal. I might have to reconsider the.
Yeah, me too, Dave. I'm with you,
man. Come on, Dave. They do. They're mini Benfica. They made their stadium after ours. They got green grass like we do. They got red shirts.
Their stadium went up before ours. No,
after.
No, after.
It's same architect or something. Or same company of architects.
El mesmo cimento.
You're right about that. Anyway, that is all that we got for you tonight. It's been we're going on an hour and 30 minutes.
This is more fun to talk to the Freddies.
It is fun, man. We got to get more Freddies in here.
Hey, maybe if Sergio sends in T-shirts, we can give them away. Then we get a whole lot of Freddies.
You always mooching off the guy. Send him the guy some money. We got like 3 T-shirts from him. We never paid him one single dime.
This promotion for him.
Things are rough in Canada, man.
That's true.
The cold weather's coming too. Come on.
Yeah, that is true too.
All right, everyone. Next week we'll discuss the recap the Braga game. Do we play Barcelona next week also, Dave?
Or international break.
Oh, great, beautiful. My favorite time of the season. All right, everyone.
Freezing.
Take care. Very good.
Arrivederci, guys.
See you guys next week. Thanks all the Freddies for jumping in, man. We love that. We love the chat and everything. Yes. Take care, guys. Later. Bye.